Last section we talked about solving inequalities with addition and subtraction. Today we're going to solve one-step inequalities by multiplying and dividing. It's the same as solving equations, so x divided by 2 equals 6. You have to do your inverse, which is multiplying by 2. 2 over 2 goes to 1, so x equals 12. Or say you had 3x equals 18. You're going to divide both sides by 3. That goes to 1, and you have x equals 6. So the inverse operations are the same. The big difference with one-step inequalities with multiplying and dividing is what happens to the inequality sign. So let's take a look at this box right here and talk about what it means. Alright, so when you have a positive number, you can multiply and divide both sides of an inequality by the same positive number and the statement will be true. So if you'll notice here that there's no change in the sign. So no change in the sign when you're multiplying or dividing by a positive number. However, when you're multiplying or dividing by a negative number, you can do that. The only thing is you must reverse the direction of the inequality symbol. So when you multiply or divide by a negative number, flip the inequality. And then go like normal. So that's really the only difference. Alright, example 1, split your workspace in half. Let's go ahead and look at c divided by negative 10 is less than or equal to 12. Okay, my inverse operation of division is to multiply, and since I'm dividing by negative 10, I need to multiply both sides by negative 10. Now, according to my rule, whenever I multiply or divide by a negative number, I have to switch that sign around. So I have c is greater than or equal to negative 120. Alright, let's write one on your own, and I want you to give it a shot. So I have b over 6 is greater than negative 30. Go ahead and pause the video and then solve it on your own. Okay, I have b divided by 6, so the inverse operation would be multiplication. Now, 6 over 6 goes to 1, and I am left with b. Now, if I refer back to what I multiply by, I multiply both sides by positive 6, so I don't need to change that sign. Negative 30 times 6 is negative 180. And that's our final answer. Example 2, let's focus on solving equations with multiplication equations by dividing. So here, my original inequality is 6w is less than 4. So when a number and a letter are hugging, that represents multiplication. So to undo multiplication, we need to divide both sides by 6. 6 over 6 goes to 1. So I'm left with w is less than, well, 4/6 simplified would be 2/3. So w is less than 2/3. Now notice I'm able to keep my inequality sign facing the way that it is because I only divided by a positive number. I want you to give this next one a shot. It's negative 18n is greater than or equal to 180. Pause the video, try it out on your own, and see how you do. Okay, I have negative 18 and n hugging. That means that they're multiplying. So we need to divide both sides by negative 18. Negative 18 over negative 18 goes to 1. So n, and I have to be very careful here, I've got to flip my sign because I divided by a negative number. 180 divided by negative 18 is negative 10. So that's my solution. How'd you do? Example 3 tells me that it cost Deidre $212 to make candles. How many candles must she sell at $8 a piece to make a profit? So let's talk about keywords. $8 a piece, that means that I'm going to take 8 times the number of candles to figure out how much it costs. And if it cost Deidre $212, I need to make more than that to make a profit. So we're going to put 212 on the right hand side, and it needs to be the smallest number that I make. So it's going to be this sign here, because I want the hungry alligator facing away from 212. So this is the smallest number. So on the left hand side I want 8 times the number of candles, so I'll use C to represent number of candles. Okay. To solve this equation, we're going to go ahead and divide both sides by 8. So C has to be greater than or equal to 26 and a half candles. Well, 26 and a half candles, that doesn't make sense. So we're going to round up to the nearest candle, and that would mean I need at least 27 candles to make any sort of profit. That does it for Chapter 12. I hope you enjoyed solving inequalities. Very, very, very similar to solving equations. The only difference is when you multiply or divide by a negative number, you've got to flip that inequality sign.